Well, good morning, folks. How are we? What, darling? What, darling?
No
Show
way.
me. Oh my God. You have upsize? You upsize? No. just, just getting ready to get going for a little Wednesday thing. Something about an organic restaurant. You know, we're on a bit of a health kick, so something that we passed a couple of weeks ago, so we're going to go and check that one out. But I was going to talk about another subject that's very close to heart today. Had a friend of mine asking me about first time with a Ladyboy. He's interested and really doesn't know what to do. So let's talk about that. So darling, what's the name of this place one?
ไล่เหมือน
Lai Muan.
นี่ครับ English
Muan Jan Farm. Muan Jan Farm, yeah? What did you say before? Lai Muan? Yeah. Agro-tourism. So a nice little farming sort of place, yes?
Yeah.
Come on, let's go inside and see what they have for food. Put my mask on, yes. Gotta close the mask first. Oh my God. Trying to do masks with one hand is always a trouble. Anyway, here we are, and we'll find somewhere to sit down and have some food. It's quite a nice looking place actually. It's a commercial garden. And you've got to do the temperature thing. Oh, 35.8, 35.9. Yeah. It's not working now. Welcome. So got a few people sitting out here. A nice little fountain there with koi. Yep. Can all come up?
Yes.
Yeah. Why you look so sexy today, darling?
What?
Why you look sexy today?
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Wait.
Wait.
What you say?
Why you look so sexy, darling?
I don't know.
Come ding dong. Come ding dong. No joke, I think she went through 3 dresses today to try to find something that was casual but elegant. Oh my God, I give up sometimes. Anyway, here comes the menu. Yeah, sometimes choosing what to eat can be just as challenging as what you do, you know, at first time actually getting to know a ladyboy. So Thailand is always challenging, always
Not
new
say
things.
Ladyboy.
Sao song,
Just say transgender.
transgender or sao song. Sao song.
Yes, สาวสอง
Sao song, yeah.
But
Sao
don't-
song. But they don't know sao song, darling.
Thai Ladyboy don't like ฝรั่ง say Ladyboy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But like a Thailand say กระเทย don't like.
Yeah.
Like it bad.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
okay. Transgender or
Yes, just
sao song.
transgender สาวสอง
Sao song.
But not say something like that. Just say you. Not say
Just say
language
my
a lot
lovely,
for
my lovely special girl. My special girl. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, so he was asking me the fact that he's been he is in Thailand and he's been getting to know a couple of ladyboys down where he lives, transgenders. It's so easy, like you guys know ladyboy and transgender, whatever. I'm not going to go into the whole, you know, correct language, but yeah, just be careful when you're talking to them, especially first time and getting to know them. There's a lot of stigma around, you know, the sex industry and those less than tasteful terms, and so they are sort of, in some sort of sense, they're rejecting the whole banner, you know, which the West has labelled. And we've got pumps going. Hold on. So they brought us a melon and some pork. This one for you, this one for me. Yeah, one of the things they grow here is melon. So.
Photo.
What? Doesn't taste as good if you don't take a
Not
photo.
yet.
Really? Oh my God.
ชอบน้ำปลา
This is pork.
Hey, not hand.
It's okay.
No.
It's okay.
You have spoon. You have this.
You told me how to eat food. Oh my
No
God.
way. Just make. อร่อยร้อนมาก
อ Good. Put it here. So yeah, so we got to talking about the whole situation of, you know, he's met a couple of ladyboys, transgenders. Not going to say who his name, not going to say where he is, because this is one of the things we have. There's a lot of stigma around this whole issue. As you know, like I've been dating, you know, transgenders since I was very young. I think my first relationship I had was, you know, 21 years old. And, you know, back in those days, it was, you know, there was the stigma of the AIDS epidemic. It was the height of, you know, virology back in those days. And everybody was quite scared. Not like today. So, you know, AIDS was pretty much in those days, in the 90 days, it was a death sentence. Not like this COVID crap that we've got now, which is, you know, the 98.8% success rate of survival. You know, basically, if you got the acquired immune deficiency syndrome, that's it. You might as well go and book your plot for, you know, the whole 6 foot under thing. Of course, that's been very well managed now with antiviral drugs and other things now, so it's no longer a bigger issue. Of course, you wouldn't want to be catching it. It does change your life quite considerable, but most people who have got AIDS or have, you know, come in contact with it, they can have a pretty much full and normal and productive life, which is the difference, you know, 40 years afterwards, I suppose, you know. So here we have, you know, this pandemic going on now, which is completely bringing the world to a stop. I didn't see the AIDS bringing the world to a stop because, well, that's into the transgender and, you know, free sex movement and, you know, that sort of thing. So it didn't worry the mainstream. Yet a lot of mainstream people fell victim to it, you know, with needle stick injuries and everything else. So, you know, how do you compare the two? Well, you can't really. Anyway, so that melon's quite nice. So getting back to the story, I said there's nothing really to worry about. You know, like we're not going to talk about the intimacy, you know, the 15 to 30 minutes of intimacy in a relationship. There's so much more to a relationship than just the actual, you know, humpity-bumpity thing. Excuse me. Oh, yummy. So I said, well, you know, for a first timer, my best suggestion is to let them lead. One of the things you'll find when you're dating transgenders, especially here in Thailand, fried rice, yeah. Especially here in Thailand, is the girls themselves are quite forward, and you know, and that can be for a number of reasons. The working girls, well, they're quite forward because they're looking to make some money, and then the other ones, you know, the majority of the others as well, you know, they're very much alpha inclined, but very feminine. I don't know if that makes any sense to people, but it is one of the things that you'll notice when you start to date the transgenders here, is the fact that they are quite open and fun-loving. When I say fun-loving, they'll love to get down and have a drink with you, you know, tell jokes, depending on how well they speak the English language, of course, you know, and just basically have a good time. As long as, you know, you're the one who's footing the bill, you know, like, you know, going out for food and, you know, drinks and a bit of a party time with some friends. They're looking just like any girl.
You want more? I take care of you.
You can take care of me. Yeah.
How many you need?
Up to you. You can.
Yes.
You can make. Yeah, but.
Okay.
Yeah, a bit more.
Huh?
Bit more. More.
Huh?
Yeah,
No, not this. See.
What?
Not this one for Valen, this one for Valen. Okay?
Swap back.
It's okay, don't worry, I know you're hungry.
No.
But you try for people in video.
It's carbohydrate, darling. I need to minimize carbohydrate.
It's more.
For my diet. It's okay. Good. That's okay. No. Anyway, I think I'm going to. I'll get back to this as I eat some food. Really. And so here we have the sea bass. Looks very yummy, and it smells yummy too, darling. What you doing? Yeah, what you doing? What you check? the photos I take before. Yeah, good idea. And so, yeah, we certainly polished that fish off. Do you like the fish, darling? Fish, Aroy?
Yeah.
Aroy?
Yep.
Yeah, good. So where I was up to? Yeah, sort of the transgenders over here, like this probably can be said about most places in the world where there's an obvious presence of transgenders. They tend to be a little bit forward. They're not shy. Some of them can be a little bit shy, but there's a very small majority of them. So if it's the first time, why don't you just, just let your hair down and just let the thing flow naturally. Let them be the boss. That's probably the first, in the first encounter or the first time with one. So that was my suggestion to him. Let them just take control. They know what they like, and you're exploring. Put the explorer's hat on. You don't know what to expect. I think going into these types of relationships with preconceived ideas can probably be the worst thing for you. What you really need to do is just think of it. You're just exploring another part of life that you've never been down through before, and let the thing flow. There's nothing really going to go wrong. Yeah, okay, you're going to probably get if you tell a few of your mates, they're probably going to think you're gay or whatever, or give you a hard time. Well, you probably know those people already, so just don't tell them. The chances are 90% of them won't realise that she's a ladyboy anyway, so who gives a damn? Let them think what they want to think. You're looking for having a new experience, and you never know, you might actually enjoy the experience, and you never know where it might take you. 12 years into a relationship. Unless this relationship wasn't my first, but you get the idea. I think my first one lasted about 4 weeks, but I was young and reckless back in those days. But it opened up a whole new world of different people that I normally wouldn't hang out with. And they had back in those days, we had some great parties. And it was almost like I went from one level in society, which is boys and fast cars, into sort of a whole mysterious world of the taboo, was probably the best way I could describe it. And it was really quite a fun and enjoyable ride. I look back on those days, and of course I think my memory is pretty clouded, as I said, being over 40 years ago. But all I can remember is the good times. I really have to struggle to think of any bad times. Thankfully I didn't acquire any strange virulent diseases either, because I was careful with the 30 minutes of rumpity bump, making sure I had protection and things like that, and that stayed any sort of any virulent disease transmission, you might say. I'm trying to keep this thing all upbeat so that the channel doesn't get banned for talking about the intimacy of life, the things you're going to do for YouTube. We ought to have these conversations. Just hit me up on my Discord channel. We can definitely sort of do it unfiltered. But you know what it's like. All these big playing the big players, Facebook, Google, Twitter. It's now a platform for censorship. So you've got to be careful what you say. But that being said, what else is there? Once you get to know the girls, if once you had a few dates, like I don't know, so if you're the sort of guy that just wants to jump into bed, well, I don't think you're looking to date somebody and have a serious relationship anyway. This conversation is really not targeted at that particular audience. The audience I'm sort of trying to sort of reach out to the people who want to, have a serious and long-term relationship with a transgender. I haven't looked back in the 12 years that we've been in a relationship, and it really has been a wonderful journey. We are still very much in love. Yes, darling?
Yep.
Yep. very much in love. I don't know if she just says that because there's a camera rolling or that she means it, but after 12 years, I think I know when she's telling the truth. So if you want to sort of really have one of those relationships, okay, my first long-term serious relationship with a girl lasted 20 years. And I look back at those days and it was also a lot of a wonderful and enjoyable experience, except we grew apart. Mind you, I can say we started growing apart pretty much 7 or 8 years into a relationship. We started see the differences. She was the mother of my child, and that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to have that sort of a life. Not to say that Shania hasn't thought about adoption of children, but I kept on saying, like I am 2 weeks away from turning 60, 40 in a few months. So really do I want another rug rat running around my feet and interrupt my gaming sessions, My life is about enjoying myself these days, and although it's lovely having a child around the place, there's a certain sort of stigma in my mind of raising a non-genetically paired child. That's the thing. How do we have a genetically paired child in its relationship? It's physically impossible. Gene therapy and all that sort of stuff, and gene splicing and artificial insemination is just not going to go anywhere in our situation because it's just not possible. If it was possible, definitely something I would explore. But that's the long-term relationship side. So really, as I said, this conversation is really targeted at those people who have found somebody that they are smitten by, they're very attractive, and whether they're pre-op or post-op or non-op, as we've talked about before, I don't think that really comes into a relationship. You've got 24 hours in a day, the actual intimacy to the side of that relationship, apart from the bond and the actual intimacy part of the relationship, may only that's only 30 minutes a day, if you're really going at it. Does that really have to distance yourself from the other 23 hours and 23 hours and 30 minutes? There's so much more to life than just the rumpity bump. And I think once you start exploring the bond, the mental bond, the physical bond, just being with them, I think you'll start to see why I'm smitten and why a lot of people who have actually got out there and explored the other side of life, why they're actually coming back with glowing results. I'm not talking about the bar girls, of course. I'm talking about the ones that you want to have a serious relationship with. It's just one of those parts of life. In some sense, it's a taboo. So it's always new. It's always different. It's something your mates aren't doing. So it puts you apart from them and it gives you that uniqueness to your own experience of this journey we have called life. So it's up to you guys. But if you want to talk about it, YouTube is just the introduction and getting it out there as a conversation piece. Now, I'm quite happy to talk about certain aspects of our relationship, but we will talk about it on our private server in Discord. We don't talk about it on Facebook. We don't talk about it on Twitter. We don't talk about it in Windows Messenger, Facebook Messenger or any other these social networking platforms. My go-to place for, of course, there's a lot of hype at the moment with the parlay and everything else like that being pulled off Amazon. Look, Discord's been around for 10 years. It's still a private server. Everybody's got private messaging. Right, it is one-on-one or group, depending on which way you want to fly on the Discord channel. Not enough people understand how much Discord has changed over the last 10 years. There's a link to the Discord channel down below. If you want to, it just means set up an account on Discord. There's no website for Discord where the public can see anything that you're doing. Right, it's just to basically get an account, set that up, right, let me know. I'll send you the link to my channel is in the description box. So once you've got an account, you just click on that link and it'll take you straight to the voice channel. A couple of little questions you need to answer with the introduction thing. Let us know who you are and everything else, so I know who I'm talking to, because this is one of the things with YouTube. Everybody knows us, and we are very much public in that genre of everything we talk about. But I don't know you, and we've got to get to know you because there still are certain elements in society we have to distance ourselves from. Not the fact that they worry me, it's the fact that, I just don't, it's 24 hours in a day, and I don't want to waste my time with people who want to waste my time. Simple as that. And really those trolls and naysayers, that's all they do, is they just waste your time. So I'd rather spend my time, the valuable 24 hours a day that I've got, with the people who want to have a conversation.
Yeah, feed too much, feed.
Yes, I'm full, darling.
Not full,
okay. Sweet and sour. Really quite yummy. Yeah. Am I pulling the Mark Beans veins? I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to probably go and do a bit more wandering around today, but I think this video is long enough. Reach out if you want to talk about it, like a couple of people have done. But as I said, what I want to do is bring those over to Discord, so it's not being monitored by Facebook or Google or Twitter or any of those other platforms. Discord is very much private, and that's where I can sort of really let loose and not to worry about censorship and everything else. So see you over there, guys. Okay, darling, say goodbye. She's got a boner. Say goodbye, darling.
Happy enjoy video and subscribe, like and share.
What's
and
this?
hey, see here.
What? So big today. Oh my God. You're so crazy.
Me joking all the time.
Kiss me.
No way.
No way. You don't love me anymore.
Okay.
Peace out, guys.
Yeah, happy enjoy video. Bye bye. See you next time.
See you next time.
Photobomb.
I want you to lift me up so high, a place that